The newest legendary event, Angels of Death, gives us an opportunity to add Mephiston. Today we will deep dive into it to make sure you get the Lord of Death to the highest rarity possible. We have had another new legendary event joining the game. The Angels of Death event allows you to open the second Blood Angel, Mephiston, the Lord of Death, and now we have an opportunity to make sure that we really maximize our gains from it. Of course, the first of the 3 events has already passed, but with 2 still remaining, this is exactly the right time to be starting to plan the team you will need to level up. As it can take months to get your character in the right place, you can specialize now for the event. And what do I think of the event? Well, Snowprint is definitely catching on to our efforts to minimize token usage. The event has seen a very big shift in its composition. In the first 2 tracks, it is not possible to complete 3 battles together with 5 characters using 1 token. The best we can do is 2 battles for 1 token. In the Gamma track, it's a bit easier and we're able to do 3 battles for 1 token and the other 2 battles with another token, but that is mainly because you can only use Imperials in what is a very restrictive track. In terms of interesting battles, there's a Psychic battle for the first time that I can recall, although it is in the Alpha track where Imperials are not allowed, so that definitely limits our options there. We've seen the welcome return of stage 13 and 14, so at least we can be pretty sure that the more difficult battles are here to stay. These are the battles where you need Diamond 3 characters and quite challenging for us all. Overall, it's definitely going to be a challenging legendary event and you will need a really wide range of characters to be able to get Mephiston to winged level. You should be able to open him pretty easily though, and if any of you have watched my video on whether Mephiston does anything, then I think that might well be enough for most of us, as he's quite a poor character in my opinion. But anyway, let's begin by looking at what we need to do to open a character in legendary events. My strategy for these is always very similar every month. I will sit down with my current roster, my Google Planner sheet, and I'll just play around with it, looking to see how I can bring my team to the next level. And what does next level mean? Well, it depends on really where you are right now in the game. To open a legendary event character, realistically you're going to need at least 6 to 10 Gold 1 characters. And of course, more the better. So the first level to reach is getting some of the best characters in the game leveled up to Gold 1. Then after that, I'm at the next stage where I'm starting to bring a few of my characters up to Gold 2 so that I can just add 1 more star to my legendary characters. Most of the rest of the teams have Gold 1 characters in them, so it's really about bringing them up to that next level. Finally, the top players are all working to complete every single battle in a legendary event, but I think that requires quite a few high-level characters at present. So let's stick with looking at what characters are useful to level for the event, and then you can decide yourself where you want to take them. We'll begin with the Alpha track. We can't take any Imperial characters, and we're fighting against the Astra Militarum and Cadians. The battles are as follows. Power, 90 points. Melee, 65 points. Min 2 hits, 40 points. Flying, 85 points. And Psychic, 95 points. And as I mentioned, this is a tight track with very limited ability to sneak through it in a super efficient manner. It actually is the least efficient track I've ever played personally, but let's see what we can do together. Firstly, we need to take the highest scoring battles that can be combined with 5 characters, and that is Power and Min 2 hits battles. Combined together, they give us 130 points. For this, we need to pick 5 from the following 8 characters: Abaddon the Despoiler, Angrax, On-Shi, Maladis, Moggenra, Nauseous Rodbone, Toth, and Volt. And thankfully that's a very decent list of characters. Nearly all of them are regular visitors to the legendary events, and we have Nauseous Rodbone for lots of healing. For me, I would pick something like this: Angrax, Maladis, Moggenra, Nauseous Rodbone, and Toth. And that's just an incredible team, and one you should have pretty well leveled already, so we're off to a good start. And with the easy one out of the way, the next 3 really suck because there are no 5 character overlaps within them, which means we need to look at them independently, and that is really painful. But let's go in order of most points to least points. That means we start with a new Psychic battle for 95 points. We can pick 5 from the following 8: Abraxas, Ahriman, Archimatos, Eldrion, Neurothrope, Thaumachus, Typhus, and Yazagor. And this battle is quite interesting because there's a lot of overlaps with the Flame battle and another couple of battles from Karn event. And so if we're looking across different events, then we can see that it's maybe worth investing into the Thousand Sons and generally just the Neurothrope Guild Raid team. With that in mind, I would prioritize the following: Abraxas, Ahriman, Neurothrope, Thaumachus, and Yazagor. Of course, with that team you'll need to really overlevel them because there isn't a decent tank there at all. Even though Abraxas will create some spawns and Thaumachus will shield someone, it isn't enough to really hold their own at level 12 without being something like Diamond 2. I think a set of gold ones should at least be able to complete level 6 without issue, and then it'll be a question of whether they can push for that all-important level 8 to help open up Mephiston. Moving on to the next battle, it's flying for 85, and here we have some more familiar faces. We can pick 5 from the following 11: Athana, Ahriman, Alefnull, Arkan Worldclaimer, Neurothrope, Revas, Shadowsun, Thaumachus, Thutmose, Wing Prime, and Yazagor. And here we are again with a bunch of Neurothrope Guild Raid team characters, so I would probably stick them into a team to help my leveling, and then just throw the all-powerful Alefnull and Revas to heal as long as possible once the others die. So it would look something like this: Ahriman, Alefnull, Revas, Neurothrope, and Yazagor. And it looks like I really need to level my Iron 3 Yazagor, don't I? Okay, moving to the last battle in the alpha track, and it's a melee battle for 65 points. Here there are a ton of different options, and so I won't bore you by going through all 20 of them. I'll just tell you that Nauseous Rotbone and Maladus are available, so just build a team around them. For me, I will be going something like this: Alefnull, Karn, Maladus, Nauseous Rotbone, and Tyrant Guard. And it's a bit of a mixed bag, but honestly, with how high I have that team leveled, I should be able to walk to level 12. And all of you should be leveling everyone here as high as you can as well. They are all core characters in legendary events. And so to bring that all together, it looks something like this. Now let's move to the beta track. Here we can't take any Chaos characters because we're fighting against the Death card and Chaos enemies. The battles are as follows: Physical, 90 points. Mechanical, 95 points. No big target, 25 points. Minimum 3 hits, 60 points. And Piercing, 105 points. And this is a little touch easier than the alpha track because there are 2 pairs of battles and then one final one that we have to clean up. There is also a bonus Isabel Battle Ball pairing, but we'll talk about that at the end. Starting with the highest scoring pairing, we will combine the mechanical and minimum 3 hits battles for a decent score of 155. There are actually only 6 characters here that we can pick from, and they are Alefnull, Anufet, Osgulgorts, Immospec, Morvenval, and Snapareka. And you should be recognizing something pretty quickly, of course. It's all mechanical characters, and that means we're going to have a pretty decent healing team here. For me, I would drop Osgulgorts, at least until he gets a rework, or Morvenval if you don't have her, and push on with the others. For me, I would ideally go Alefnull, Anufet, Immospec, Morvenval, and Snapareka. Sit Immospec behind Alefnull and the rest in front and do your best. Next up we have the Piercing and no big target battles for a combined score of 130. Again, we don't really have too many options because the Piercing battles are always quite limiting, but you can pick 5 from these 7. Athana, Calandus, Eldrion, Incissus, Janezar, Shosil, and Ulf. And I've talked a lot about my new favourite healing trio of Incissus, Janezar, and Tyrant Guard, and this is usually where I would have been picking them up, but sadly, the no big target battle blocks Tyrant Guard, and so makes the Piercing battle even harder to optimise. I can't help but feel that Snowprint are actively targeting my team compositions at this point, but with that option blocked, I would still take an Incissus-led team that looks something like this: Calandus, Incissus, Janezar, Shosil, and Ulf. Eldrion is available if you have him super leveled up for guild raids, but Ulf is definitely the better pick to fill that last slot. For the other 4, they are super powerful characters that you need to level for legendary events in my opinion, Calandus being the highest scoring character overall, and you all know my love for Incissus. The final battle is Physical for 90 points, and there are 16 options to choose from. Again, I won't bore you with a full list, but I will just show you what I would be aiming for, and it's something like this: Tangida, Makotep, Tyrant Guard, Snapareka, and Snotflogger. This utilises the defense of Tyrant Guard with the healing of Makotep and the mass character spawn of Tangida and Snotflogger. and that's a really good team to finish with. But I mentioned there was an option for an Isabella Battle Ball, and that is to do the no big target and minimum 3 hit battles. It isn't the most efficient or highest scoring, but when playing with a Battle Ball, it means you can push up very high in the track, probably further than you can with other characters. In terms of who you can pick, it's a real sausage fest, with all the main Battle Brothers being there except Marneus Calgar. So that would be Aryak, Baraquel, Bellator, Brother Butchered, Brother Yeagar, and Isabella. Just make sure that you have Isabella leveled to at least gold 1, and the others should have armor of 300 or more, and you will walk to stage 6 with ease. And so if we bring all that together again, it looks like this. Moving to the Gamma track sees a ban on Chaos and Xenos, and you're fighting against the Eldari. The battles are Power, 85 points, Ranged, 85 points, No Mechanical, 35 points, Max 2 hits, 85 points, and minimum 3 hits, 85 points. And this is the easiest battle of all of them because we can not only split this up into 2 parts, but again there is a backup Isabella Battle Ball looking to bring you far up the tracks. The first part of the track is going to be split up into Power, No Mechanical, and minimum 3 hits, which gives us a whopping 205 points. So thank goodness that one of the tracks is a little bit more efficient. But with efficiency comes scarcity, as there are only a few options to pick from here. You can pick 5 from the following 8. Aryak, Asmodai, Baraquel, Brother Butchered, Brother Yeagar, Celestine, High Marshal Helbrecht, and Ulf. And with Helbrecht and Celestine being legendary characters that you need to get lucky or have spent the time grinding for 3 months to get, I would just focus on everybody else here. My team would look something like Aryak, Baraquel, Brother Butchered, Brother Yeagar, and Ulf. And that's a lot of repetition for the Isabella Battle Ball, so all great characters to level and a really solid team. For the other 2 battles, Ranged and Max 2 hit, there's a lot more options to pick from, as we can select 5 from the following 12 characters: Actus, Azrael, Certus, Commissar Yarrick, Mephiston, finally, Niall, Rosita, Sarquel, Sybil Divine, Tangida, Varutagarius, and Vitruvius. And instantly there's an AdMech team here that interests me, so I would probably build around them and end up with something that looks like this: Actus, Certus, Commissar Yarrick, Tangida, and Vitruvius. The real important ones here are Actus, Tangida, and Vitruvius. It's all about keeping Tangida alive as long as possible so he can fill the battlefield with big spawns. Then you can round the team out with either Certus and Yarrick, or maybe Azrael and Sarquel, depending on who you have leveled up previously, but my main focus would still be on the AdMechs though. For the Isabella Battle Ball option, this can get you through the min 3 hits and no mechanical battles, and it's exactly the same options as last time: Aryak, Baraquel, Bellator, Brother Butchered, Brother Yeagar, and Isabella. So just pick your 5 favourites and get on with pushing them up the track. And bringing this all together, it looks like this. And so, as always, that is an overwhelming amount of data. Let's summarize it into a good plan for you to focus on that will allow you to maximize your points and hopefully unlock the character. This still depends on your level, and you'll probably need 6 or 7 of these at Gold 1 level, as well as having Isabella and Rotbone. But don't despair if you don't, because every upgrade you put into these characters will definitely be useful in the future, and it will start moving you one step closer to opening all future legendary event characters. Firstly, I always start with the healers relevant to the event. This time round, it's Nauseous Rotbone, Incissus, and Actus. Isabella is of course always kicking about, but you actually don't officially need her this time around. She only helps to push you up certain tracks, so I'm going to leave her off this list. But all of those are just so incredibly important to legendary events, so just get on to leveling them to Gold 1 at least. Next, I'm going to work on my tanks: Tyrant Guard, Maladis, and Revas. Then at least 2 of the Isabella Battle Ball, because we also need them for the Gamma track. I'll probably pick Aryak and Brother Butchered here. Then I would work on the characters that can gain the most points in this event and are very relevant for all events: Tangida, and then I would pick the Neurothrope Guildraid team, so I'm not only helping this legendary event, but also my Guildraid scores. And that is Abraxas, Ahriman, Neurothrope, and Yazagor. Finally, I would pick some of these characters to push up a bit: Aleph Null, Kalandis, and Jane Zar. All of these are incredibly important always in legendary events, and they do well in this event as well. And so that's a lot of characters to focus on, and maybe even that last list is still too overwhelming for you. If that's the case, just pick 3 or 4 of the characters that you think you'd like to play and get them leveled to Gold 1. All the best with the event, and let me know if this helped you unlock the character when the event comes round again.